So I came across a couple of new to me Gygax references that have relevance to Greyhawk. I'm going to talk about them today on Greyhawk Rocknarn. So over on Facebook, one of the comments on one of my videos mentioned that there was some Greyhawk material in two books that came out in the early 2000s. They are the Slayer's Guide to Undead, published by Mongoose Publishing, and the Slayer's Guide to Dragons, both of which are by Gary Gygax, one of them with John Crefeld. Um, and there's some really interesting things in here. The Guide to the Undead, we'll start with that one, has two kind of inserts. They're kind of quoting from a letter written by Zagyg, the Mad Archmage, and talking about mummies coming from having their powers come from the positive material plane. And this is a reference to a typo in the original Monster Manual, where the original Monster Manual, page 72, says mummies are undead humans with existence on both the normal and the positive material planes, right? And for years that threw people off, and it's obviously a typo. It's undead, so they must have meant that it comes from the negative material plane. And well, hey, typos happen. But in here, many years after it was published, Gygax gets the last word. Um, uh, Mummy's powers derive from the positive forces of the universe. This is Zagyg talking in universe. Um, I don't care who the hell this Don Rifkin is or whatever this hack's name is, but I assume he's gathering information from one of my oldest works and guides to all sorts of beastly flora and fauna. The Monster Manual. He's saying he wrote the Monster Manual. The truth be told, I made a mistake in that work. Haven't you ever done that? Said left when you meant right. I'm still appalled at the fact that few so-called learned ones don't correct what are obviously errors. And then he goes on about it, but it was just a really funny little thing. And we're going to pick up on that theme again in a second. And then there's another brief little thing in there which also references the Monster Manual. Um, this is talking about specters. Uh, uh, um, the insightful Weigel claims that a bestiary of my design was improperly illustrated. He theorizes that the illustration was used to illuminate the entry describing specters showing a ghostly form um, coming from a bookcase has left subsequent scholars with the impression that a specter is just another form of ghost. And that is a direct reference to the picture of the specter in the original Monster Manual. Because if you look at the picture, let's see if I can get it up there, up close there. You see, the specter is coming out of a bookcase. So he says in no uncertain terms that in the Slayer's Guide to Undead that Zagyg wrote the Monster Manual, and I just think that is the coolest thing. Hi everybody. Please help me keep Greyhawk alive by liking this video and subscribing. It really does help. You can also become a member of the channel or support me on Patreon and get early access to my videos, exclusive content, free or at-cost copies of my Greyheim Adventures modules, and more. Thanks, and now back to the show. Now, in the Guide to Dragons, we have another couple of interesting entries. This is they give a new monster called a mirth break, and it says. The world has that most eccentric of wizards, Zagyg Ragyern. I can never pronounce that right. Yagurn, to thank for these irksome pests. What motivated the capricious archmage to create them is a secret known only to him. Perhaps it was a joke at the expense of dragon slayers. And basically their breath weapon makes people do silly things. It's that. And there's all kinds of different dragons mentioned in here. But what's really interesting about the Dragons book is this. The Revenge of Gorkai, which is an adventure for 4 to 6 characters of 8th to 10th level with at least 40 total combined levels. Um, and it's about Gorkai, an indigo crossbreed dragon, um, This unnatural parentage was brought about at the behest of she who is called a mother of witches, an evil demigoddess with many names. That's Igwilv, Igwilv the Witch Queen from um, the Rogue novels, and she's mentioned in Lost Caverns of Tsojconth and so forth. This is a direct reference to this. This could be seen as a sort of a side quest for Tsojconth, if you wanted to do it that way. Um, but when the mother's domain fell, the fall of the Empire of the Witch Queen, which we done video on, um, the hybrid dragon Gorkai was but a young worm. It had been the witch's intent that the dragon serve as a steed for her daughter, Rizelna, which is an anagram of Drelsna, which is how her daughter is named in Tsojconth. So this is it. This is a Greyhawk tie-in, just with under a couple of different names. Um, but that was not to be. In the debacle following the fall of her realm, the mother of witches was forced to flee, and her former henchmen and slaves plundered her treasures, and on and on and on. So it gives you some interesting background here on, on what's going on in the Yattle Mountains and so forth immediately after the fall of the Witch Queen. So we have also got this cool map, which, if you can see it, which is which calls them the East Nell Mountains, but it definitely looks like it could be adapted to be the Yattle Mountains, where in the world of Greyhawk you could it definitely looks like you could use this in there. Um, I haven't done a direct comparison to kind of overlay it, but I think that's clear that you could do that. And it's an interesting uh, adventure in and of itself, and it's definitely worth taking a look at. And you can still buy both of these books in PDF form from the Mongoose Publishing website. So I would definitely put that in your ear to go out and get those things. I shall put a link below. So yeah, there you go. Little bits of Greyhawk trivia. There is that. The Mad Archmage Zagyg wrote the Monster Manual, and Zagyg also created a new breed of dragons, and we have a sort of a hidden side adventure related to the Lost Caverns of Tsojconth. So there you go. Enjoy. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Let me know what you thought about this one. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've ever used these Slayer's guides. Any of the material in here. It looks like it's for 3.5, but that should be easy enough to convert down or up depending on what you're playing. So, hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you all later.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.